What truly shapes a young royal to balance the grandeur of their title with the simplicity of a grounded upbringing? For Princess Charlotte, much of this balance comes from her grandmother, Carole Middleton. Behind the royal spotlight, Carole has played a pivotal role, offering hands-on care, instilling timeless values, and building a bond that has profoundly influenced Charlotte's early years. How has Carole Middleton helped shape Charlotte's personality and values? What role does she play in giving Charlotte a sense of normalcy amidst royal life? And what lessons from Carole's guidance might define the young princess's future? Let's explore the truth behind this special relationship. Carole Middleton had always been a central figure in her daughter's life, but during Catherine's pregnancy with Princess Charlotte, her role became even more significant. While details of Carole's specific contributions remain private, it is well known that she has always been a hands-on mother and grandmother. Drawing on her experience raising 3 children of her own, Carole likely became a source of emotional reassurance for Catherine, offering guidance and understanding during a physically and emotionally taxing time. As Catherine focused on managing her health with the help of her medical team, Carole's presence ensured the family could maintain some stability. Catherine and Prince William's first child, Prince George, was just over a year old at the time and required constant care and attention. It is easy to imagine Carole stepping in to keep his routines consistent, providing a comforting sense of normalcy for the young prince while his mother recovered. The arrival of Princess Charlotte on the 2nd of May, 2015, was a joyous occasion, celebrated by the public and the family alike. As Catherine and William introduced their newborn daughter to the world outside the Lindo wing of St. Mary's Hospital, it was clear that Charlotte's birth marked a new chapter for the Cambridges. While the world focused on the official moments, such as the baby's introduction and the family's return to Anmer Hall, Carole's role was likely pivotal behind the scenes. Reports suggest that Carole has always played an active role in her grandchildren's early lives. It is reasonable to assume that she was among the first family members to meet Charlotte, and was there to help Catherine adjust to life with 2 young children. As a grandmother, Carole is known to prioritize family connection and involvement, emphasizing the importance of small, everyday moments that build strong bonds. Whether it was offering advice during late-night feedings or simply being present as Catherine navigated life as a mother of 2, Carole's influence was quietly significant. Carole's love for her grandchildren is often expressed in ways that reflect her down-to-earth nature. She has been seen shopping for her grandchildren at high-end children's stores like Trotters, selecting thoughtful gifts that celebrate the milestones in their lives. While these moments may seem simple, they highlight Carole's joy in embracing her role as a grandmother. It is this active involvement that sets her apart, ensuring that her grandchildren feel cherished and supported. Her approach to grandparenting is undoubtedly shaped by her own upbringing. Carole's mother, Dorothy Goldsmith, was known for her nurturing nature and her willingness to indulge her children despite modest means. Dorothy's love and care left a lasting impression on Carole, who has carried these values forward into her own family. Whether it's through thoughtful gestures or her hands-on involvement, Carole's commitment to her family is evident. The early months of Charlotte's life were likely marked by the quiet rhythms of family life at Anmer Hall, the Cambridge's countryside retreat. Here, Carole's presence would have provided not only practical support, but also a sense of emotional stability. With Catherine and William adjusting to their roles as parents of 2, having Carole around would have made the transition smoother. Her experience as a mother and her innate understanding of family dynamics likely helped create a warm, nurturing environment for her daughter and grandchildren. What makes Carole's role unique is her ability to bridge the gap between royal traditions and everyday family life. While Charlotte was born into a world of immense privilege and expectation, Carole's grounded approach ensured that her granddaughter's early experiences were also filled with simple joys. From planning family outings to being a source of encouragement for Catherine and William, Carole's focus has always been on fostering a sense of connection and normalcy. As Charlotte approached her first birthday, the bond between her and her grandmother had already begun to take shape. Carole's involvement wasn't about grand gestures or public displays. It was about the quiet, consistent presence that forms the foundation of any strong relationship. These early experiences, though often unseen by the world, were undoubtedly crucial in shaping Charlotte's sense of security and belonging within her family. While much about Carole's contributions remains private, her influence is evident in the values she instills in her family. By being a steady and loving presence, she has created an environment where her grandchildren can thrive, even amidst the unique challenges of royal life. For Charlotte, these formative moments with her grandmother have laid the groundwork for a relationship that will undoubtedly grow stronger in the years to come. As Princess Charlotte began to grow, her early years unfolded in the warmth and stability of family life. Carole Middleton's role as a grandmother naturally evolved, becoming even more hands-on and impactful. While Charlotte was still an infant, Carole's influence helped establish routines and traditions that blended a sense of normalcy with the unique demands of royal life. These early years were about more than just meeting the practical needs of a young family. They were about fostering a bond that would anchor Charlotte in the years to come. At Anmer Hall, the Cambridge's countryside retreat, Carole was a frequent and welcome presence. The sprawling estate, nestled in the tranquil surroundings of Norfolk, provided the perfect setting for Charlotte and her older brother George to experience a childhood filled with simple joys. It was a place where royal protocol softened, allowing the family to enjoy quieter, more intimate moments away from the public eye. Carole's visits to Anmer Hall weren't just occasions to spend time with her grandchildren. They were opportunities to create cherished memories and reinforce the values she hoped to pass down to the next generation. One of Carole's most significant contributions during this period was her ability to weave family traditions into Charlotte's upbringing. As someone who had built her own family around shared moments and celebrations, Carole understood the importance of creating a sense of belonging and continuity. Holidays, in particular, became a time for connection and joy. Christmases at the Middleton home were filled with warmth and laughter, with Carole ensuring that Charlotte and George felt included in every aspect of the festivities. From decorating their own Christmas trees to unwrapping carefully chosen presents, these moments reflected Carole's belief in the importance of family traditions. But Carole's influence extended far beyond holiday celebrations. She was deeply committed to ensuring that Charlotte experienced a balanced and grounded childhood. One of the ways she achieved this was by encouraging outdoor activities, an approach that resonated with the family's love for nature. The gardens at the Middleton family home in Bucklebury became a playground for Charlotte and George, who delighted in feeding the ducks at the pond and exploring the surrounding greenery. Carole introduced them to gardening, teaching them to plant vegetables and care for the earth. For Charlotte, these experiences weren't just about learning practical skills. They were about discovering the joys of curiosity, patience, and nurturing. As Charlotte grew from a baby into an active toddler, her bond with Carole deepened through these shared activities. Carole, who had always been energetic and hands-on, wasn't content to simply observe her grandchildren at play. She joined in with enthusiasm, whether it was digging in the dirt, climbing trees, or chasing after the family dog. These moments of unfiltered joy and connection helped Charlotte experience something rare for a child born into royalty: a taste of normalcy. This sense of normalcy extended to Carole's approach to discipline and routine. While she was undoubtedly a loving and indulgent grandmother, Carole believed in the value of structure. She often spoke about the importance of instilling politeness, kindness, and respect in children from an early age. For Carole, these lessons weren't about being strict. They were about setting a foundation for confidence and self-awareness. Charlotte, even at a young age, began to exhibit the quiet confidence that would later become one of her most endearing traits. Observers often remarked on how Charlotte balanced her playful spirit with a sense of poise, a reflection, perhaps, of the guidance she received from her grandmother and parents. Carole's influence wasn't limited to lessons in discipline. She also sought to nurture Charlotte's creativity and imagination, finding ways to make even the simplest activities fun and engaging. Whether it was through arts and crafts, storytelling, or baking together in the kitchen, Carole's focus was always on fostering a sense of joy and curiosity in her grandchildren. These activities weren't just about keeping Charlotte entertained. They were about teaching her to embrace her individuality and explore her interests. As Charlotte transitioned into her toddler years, she began to show glimpses of the personality that would later captivate royal watchers. She was confident and spirited, with a sense of humor that often left her family laughing. Carole, ever the doting grandmother, encouraged these traits, delighting in the moments when Charlotte's bubbly personality shone through. Whether it was Charlotte giggling at the antics of the family pets or showing off her budding gardening skills, Carole was always there to cheer her on, providing the kind of support that allowed Charlotte to thrive. The bond between Carole and Charlotte became particularly evident during family gatherings. Carole's home in Bucklebury, with its warm and inviting atmosphere, often became a haven for the Cambridge family. Unlike the formal settings of royal residences, the Middleton home offered a relaxed environment where Charlotte and her siblings could simply be children. It was a place where they could run around freely, play games, and enjoy the simple pleasures of family life. For Carole, these gatherings were about more than just spending time together. They were about creating an environment where her grandchildren could feel secure, loved, and free to express themselves. As Charlotte's world began to expand with her introduction to nursery school, Carole's role remained as important as ever. She continued to be a source of stability and encouragement, providing a safe and loving presence that grounded Charlotte amidst the changes in her young life. For Charlotte, knowing that her grandmother was always there, ready to celebrate her achievements, comfort her in difficult moments, and guide her through new experiences, was invaluable. Carole's approach to her role as a grandmother was rooted in her belief that family is the foundation of a happy and fulfilling life. She often spoke about the joy she found in spending time with her grandchildren, describing it as one of the most rewarding aspects of her life. This deep commitment to family was something she had passed on to Catherine, and in turn, to Charlotte. Through her actions, Carole demonstrated the importance of love, kindness, and togetherness, values that would undoubtedly shape Charlotte's character as she grew. By the time Charlotte was approaching her third birthday, the bond she shared with her grandmother had become one of the most cherished aspects of her young life. Carole's influence was evident not just in the moments of joy and laughter they shared, but in the quiet lessons she imparted through her example. Whether it was teaching Charlotte to care for the earth and the garden, encouraging her to express herself through creativity, or simply being there to listen and support, Carole's presence was a constant source of strength and love. Charlotte's early years were filled with the kind of memories that would stay with her forever. Through Carole's guidance, she experienced the beauty of family traditions, the value of kindness and respect, and the joy of exploring the world with curiosity and wonder. These moments, though often unseen by the outside world, were shaping Charlotte into the confident, compassionate young princess she was destined to become. As Charlotte grew into her preschool years, her bond with Carole Middleton continued to evolve, becoming a cornerstone of her childhood. By now, the rhythms of family life were well established, with Carole playing a key role in creating a nurturing and grounded environment for Charlotte. While the young princess began stepping into her first structured settings, like nursery school, Carole remained a steady presence, ensuring that the values she had instilled from the beginning were reinforced through every stage of Charlotte's development. Carole's involvement was especially significant during moments of transition, such as Charlotte's introduction to nursery school at Wilcox Nursery in 2018. For any child, the shift from home to a formal educational setting can be daunting, and Charlotte was no exception. While her poised demeanor in public often caught attention, it was the quiet support from family that gave her the confidence to embrace new experiences. Carole, who had always been deeply involved in her grandchildren's early years, provided reassurance during this time, helping Catherine and William prepare Charlotte for the exciting but challenging world of school. Beyond offering practical advice, Carole focused on maintaining the strong family traditions that gave Charlotte a sense of continuity and belonging. One of these traditions was the importance of celebrating holidays together, a value Carole had emphasized throughout her own life. Christmases at the Middleton family home in Bucklebury were a highlight for Charlotte and her siblings. Carole took great care to create an atmosphere of joy and togetherness, ensuring that every detail, from the decorations to the activities, reflected the spirit of the season. Her thoughtful gesture of providing an extra Christmas tree for the grandchildren to decorate became a beloved tradition, one that Charlotte particularly enjoyed. These moments were about more than just holiday cheer. They were about fostering creativity and giving Charlotte the freedom to express herself in a relaxed and loving environment. It wasn't only major holidays that brought the family together. Carole found joy in the everyday moments that made childhood magical. She frequently organized family picnics, bike rides, and trips to the park, where Charlotte and her siblings could run free, climb trees, and simply be kids. These outings weren't about grand plans or formal activities. They were about spending time together in the most natural and unstructured way possible. For Charlotte, These experiences offered a vital counterbalance to the structured and often public nature of her royal life. They gave her a glimpse into the kind of childhood Carole had once provided for Catherine and her siblings, filled with spontaneity, exploration, and laughter. Carole also continued to encourage Charlotte's love for nature, a bond they had nurtured during those early days in the garden. Now that Charlotte was older, these moments took on new dimensions, with Carole teaching her the importance of patience and care when growing plants. The simple act of planting a seed and watching it bloom became a metaphor for the values Carole hoped to instill in her granddaughter. The rewards of hard work, the beauty of nurturing something, and the joy of seeing one's efforts come to life. Gardening became a shared activity that strengthened their bond, offering Charlotte a chance to reconnect with the natural world in a way that was both grounding and inspiring. As Charlotte began to explore her own interests, Carole found ways to encourage her creativity and independence. Whether it was through baking in the kitchen, experimenting with arts and crafts, or storytelling, Carole's focus was always on empowering Charlotte to express herself. These activities weren't just about having fun. They were about giving Charlotte the tools to think independently and embrace her unique personality. Carole understood that these moments of unstructured play and creativity were essential for a child growing up in a world where so much was pre-planned and scripted. One of Carole's greatest strengths as a grandmother was her ability to balance fun with discipline. While she delighted in spoiling her grandchildren with love and affection, she also believed in the importance of boundaries and routine. Charlotte, known for her confidence and lively spirit, thrived under this balanced approach. Carole's philosophy of teaching manners and respect from a young age was evident in Charlotte's interactions, both with her family and in public. Royal watchers often commented on Charlotte's poise and self-assurance, traits that were likely nurtured by Carole's consistent guidance. The relationship between Carole and Charlotte wasn't just about the lessons or the activities, it was about the connection they shared. Carole had an innate ability to make every moment with her grandchildren feel special, whether it was a simple walk in the park or a heartfelt conversation. For Charlotte, having a grandmother who was so present and engaged gave her a sense of stability and unconditional love. Carole wasn't just someone who showed up for the big moments. She was there for the everyday ones, the moments that might seem small but left a lasting impression. As the family continued to navigate their lives in the public eye, Carole's role remained as important as ever. She provided not only practical support, but also emotional reassurance, offering a steady hand as Charlotte grew into her unique role within the royal family. It was Carole's grounding presence that helped Charlotte maintain her sense of identity, even as the world watched her every move. The lessons Carole imparted about kindness, resilience, and the value of family became the foundation upon which Charlotte began to build her own character. By the time Charlotte entered primary school, her bond with Carole was firmly established. The influence of those early years spent gardening, decorating Christmas trees, and laughing together during family outings was clear in Charlotte's bright and confident personality. Carole's presence had given her a childhood that, while undeniably unique, was also rich with the simple joys that every child deserves. These formative years were about more than just building memories. They were about laying the groundwork for a relationship that would continue to grow and evolve. As Charlotte's world expanded, the values Carole had instilled in her remained at the core of who she was. Whether it was her appreciation for family traditions, her curiosity about the natural world, or her confident and respectful demeanor, these traits were a testament to the love and care Carole had poured into her granddaughter's life. For Carole, being a grandmother wasn't just about the role, it was about the legacy she was creating, one that would shape Charlotte for years to come. As Princess Charlotte continued to grow, the dynamics within the family began to evolve. By the time she turned 5, Charlotte was no longer the shy toddler exploring the world with curiosity. She had blossomed into a confident young girl with a personality as vibrant as her smile. This transformation wasn't just the product of her natural disposition. It was the result of the strong foundation laid by her parents, and, of course, her grandmother, Carole Middleton. The global pandemic in 2020 marked a significant shift in everyone's lives, including the royals. For the Cambridges, it was a time to retreat to their family home, Anmer Hall, where they focused on homeschooling and keeping life as normal as possible for their 3 young children. During this time, Carole's role became even more essential. Like so many grandparents around the world, she had to find creative ways to stay connected with her grandchildren while adhering to safety measures. Whether through video calls or socially distanced visits, Carole made sure that her bond with Charlotte remained strong. She understood the importance of stability during such uncertain times, and her presence, even if virtual at times, brought a sense of reassurance to the young princess. When restrictions eased, Carole resumed her active role in Charlotte's life with even more enthusiasm. She once again became a frequent visitor at Anmer Hall, helping Catherine and William manage the demands of parenting while also injecting her signature warmth and energy into their household. By this time, Charlotte had started to develop a deeper understanding of the world around her. Her love for the outdoors, cultivated during those early days in the garden with her grandmother, blossomed into a genuine appreciation for nature. Whether it was exploring the grounds of Anmer Hall or helping plant flowers in the garden, Charlotte found joy in activities that connected her to the world outside. Carole's influence wasn't limited to outdoor adventures. She also played a significant role in encouraging Charlotte's growing interests and talents. Charlotte, known for her lively and curious nature, showed an early enthusiasm for helping out in the kitchen, a trait that Carole was more than happy to nurture. Baking sessions became a favorite activity during visits, with Charlotte proudly presenting her creations to her parents and siblings. These moments, though simple, carried deeper meaning. They reflected Carole's belief in the value of hands-on learning and her desire to instill a sense of pride and independence in her grandchildren. As Charlotte's world expanded, so did her understanding of family and the importance of staying connected. Carole often hosted the family at the Middleton home in Bucklebury, where Charlotte could experience a different kind of family dynamic, one that was warm, informal, and free from the protocols of royal life. These visits were filled with laughter and simple pleasures like running through the garden, playing games with her siblings and cousins, and enjoying meals prepared by Carole herself. The contrast between the structured environment of royal life and the relaxed atmosphere of her grandmother's home gave Charlotte the best of both worlds, grounding her in ways that only family can. By 2024, however, the family faced a new challenge. Princess Catherine underwent abdominal surgery early in the year, and post-operative tests revealed the presence of cancer. The news was a devastating blow to the family, and it marked one of the most difficult periods they had faced together. For Charlotte, who adored her mother, seeing Catherine endure such a struggle was heartbreaking. But even in this dark time, Carole Middleton became a beacon of strength and stability for the family. Carole stepped in to support Catherine in every way possible, driving her to chemotherapy appointments and helping William manage the household. Her role as a grandmother became even more critical during this time, as she provided comfort and care to Charlotte and her siblings while their parents coped with the emotional and physical demands of the illness. For Charlotte, having her grandmother close by was a source of immense comfort. Carole's calm presence and ability to create a sense of normalcy helped the young princess navigate the uncertainty of the situation. In many ways, this period revealed the depth of the bond between Charlotte and her grandmother. Carole's unwavering support wasn't just about managing practicalities, it was about showing Charlotte what it means to be resilient in the face of adversity. Watching her grandmother care for her mother with such devotion left a lasting impression on Charlotte. It taught her about the strength that comes from love, the importance of being there for family, and the power of compassion. During this challenging time, Carole found ways to keep the family's spirits high. She made sure to celebrate even the smallest victories, whether it was through organizing family dinners, planning fun activities for the children, or simply being there to listen. For Charlotte, these moments were a reminder of the joy that can be found even in the midst of hardship. They reinforced the idea that family is a source of strength, no matter the circumstances. As Catherine's treatment progressed, Charlotte began to step into a more supportive role herself. Inspired by her grandmother's example, she took it upon herself to help her mother in small but meaningful ways. Whether it was fetching a glass of water, sitting by her side with a book, or simply offering a comforting hug, Charlotte's actions spoke volumes about the lessons she had learned from Carole. For a young girl, these gestures were a profound expression of love and care, and they reflected the deep values that had been instilled in her from an early age. By the end of 2024, Catherine's health had improved significantly, thanks to her treatment and the unwavering support of her family. For Charlotte, this period of adversity had been a defining moment in her young life. It was a time when she had witnessed firsthand the strength of the women in her family her mother's determination, and her grandmother's resilience. These lessons weren't just abstract concepts. They were lived experiences that would shape Charlotte's character as she grew older. Carole's role during this time was not just that of a grandmother. She was a mentor, a caretaker, and a source of inspiration. Her ability to balance the practicalities of family life with the emotional needs of her loved ones highlighted the profound impact she had on Charlotte's upbringing. In the years to come, Charlotte would undoubtedly carry these lessons with her, using them to navigate both the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. As Princess Charlotte entered her school-age years, she began to grow into the confident and charismatic young girl the world would come to admire. Her journey from toddlerhood to this new stage of life was deeply rooted in the values, love, and guidance instilled by her family, her grandmother, Carole Middleton. By this point, Charlotte's bond with Carole had become an inseparable part of her upbringing, providing her with a sense of stability and perspective that extended far beyond her royal role. With Catherine's health improving by the end of 2024, life at Anmer Hall began to regain a sense of normalcy. For Charlotte, this meant a return to the routines and traditions that had shaped her childhood. Carole, as always, remained a central figure in these moments, continuing to nurture the balance between royal expectations and the simplicity of family life. While the public often saw glimpses of Charlotte's poised demeanor during royal engagements, it was Carole's influence behind the scenes that helped her granddaughter stay grounded. Carole's approach to grandparenting had always been rooted in her belief that children thrive in environments where they feel both loved and empowered. For Charlotte, this meant being given opportunities to explore her interests, express herself freely, and learn the value of kindness and respect. Carole often encouraged her grandchildren to take pride in their accomplishments, no matter how small. Whether it was Charlotte proudly presenting her latest baking creation or showing off a drawing she had worked hard on, these moments of recognition helped Charlotte develop a healthy sense of self-confidence. One of the most striking aspects of Carole's influence was how she fostered a spirit of curiosity in Charlotte. From a young age, Charlotte had shown an eagerness to learn about the world around her, a trait Carole was quick to nurture. Their shared love for nature became a cornerstone of their bond, with Carole introducing Charlotte to the joys of planting flowers, growing vegetables, and understanding the rhythms of the natural world. These activities weren't just about spending time together. They were opportunities for Charlotte to develop patience, responsibility, and an appreciation for life's simpler pleasures. As Charlotte continued to grow, her grandmother's lessons in compassion and resilience became even more evident. The challenges the family had faced during Catherine's illness had left a profound impact on the young princess. Watching Carole support her mother with unwavering strength had shown Charlotte the importance of being there for loved ones, even during the hardest times. These lessons were not lost on her. Charlotte began to exhibit the same caring and thoughtful nature that had defined her grandmother's actions. Carole's ability to instill these values in her grandchildren came from her deep understanding of family dynamics. She had always emphasized the importance of creating a strong support system, where every member felt valued and connected. For Charlotte, this meant knowing that no matter how demanding her royal duties might become, her family would always be her anchor. Carole's efforts to maintain this sense of unity within the family ensured that Charlotte grew up with a clear understanding of what truly mattered. Beyond her role as a grandmother, Carole also served as a role model for Charlotte. Her life story, rising from modest beginnings to building a successful business and raising a close-knit family, was a testament to the values of hard work, determination, and resilience. For Charlotte, having such a positive example within her own family was undoubtedly inspiring. It showed her that while the world might see her as a princess, it was the qualities of character and kindness that would truly define her. As Charlotte began to take on more visible roles within the royal family, the foundation Carole had helped build became increasingly important. Public life brought with it a unique set of challenges, from intense scrutiny to the pressure of representing the monarchy. But Charlotte approached these moments with a confidence and ease that belied her young age. Observers often remarked on her ability to balance the formality of royal engagements with the natural charm and authenticity of a child. These qualities, shaped in large part by Carole's influence, allowed Charlotte to navigate her public role without losing sight of who she was. Carole's impact on Charlotte wasn't confined to the lessons she imparted. it was also evident in the shared experiences that had strengthened their bond over the years. From their kitchen baking sessions to afternoons spent digging in the garden, these moments of connection had created a reservoir of memories that Charlotte could carry with her into adulthood. They were reminders of the joy and love that had defined her early years, even as her responsibilities within the royal family began to grow. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come that far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.